Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just before we get on with the video, SPLASHSOLOARISE, a new code. Let's get that going. Thank you very much. I'm not sure what this actually gives. What we got? What is it? Something good? Something cool? Oh. What the hell? Alright, well, resources are resources, can't complain. So, about an hour ago, I uploaded a video talking about Hansaming, which is going to be the new character, the new support character, that, if things don't change, should be releasing in September, alongside with the Baron content. Difficult content, and so from that, obviously with how support characters have come into the game, they are crazy good, right? Especially with supporting, you know, the main DPS characters. So that really got me thinking now. Looking at the schedule of how things are being built up and the typings that we have, to be fair, if the fire typing is going to be releasing in July, so if we're catering to the fire element in July, then that kind of classes light, water, and fire attributes basically out the way, because at that point they're sorted, right? We've got our DPSs, we've got our breakers, we've got our supporters, where, you know, we've got all that we need to give ourselves a good mono team for that specific typing. So again, just in terms of light, you got Min. Actually, you know what, we're doing a much better form. If we're looking at it from a typing perspective, we've got the breaker, we've got the supporter, we've got the DPS. I'm just going to put SSRs in here and just going to leave SRs be to one side just for 1 second. But I mean, again, there are alternative uses for SRs, being obviously the two breakers, clearly. But you guys get the idea with them just focusing on releasing SSRs, of course, with it being a complete package for that typing. So light is done. Obviously, the most recent one being water typing. You know, we've got our breaker, we've got our supporter, and we've got our DPS. Right, so water is basically done. The next typing, if things don't change, is going to be fire typing. As it stands, we don't quite, well, the last slot might be sub DPS, so more firepower being added, but typically speaking, the fire element will be completed in their full package, so that is fire out the way. Dark, kind of, technically, did get an early head start, because of course Beast was the first rate up character. So to those that did play the soft launch, then technically speaking, we've got our Dark team sorted. Although Dark can do a little bit of a touch up, which I expect them to do, but technically speaking, Dark is kind of complete. You got your range breaker, you got your supporter in terms of Dark attack increase, as well as the charm debuff, and then you got Beast, you got the DPS. So let's be honest, let's be real, we know what we want. People have been asking for this ever since they dropped the mail in. Why not Wind? In July, we're getting a fire character, but Wind needs the help. Here's the thing, I think the Wind attribute is going to be the attribute to fight against the Baron content, the more difficult content to release in September. Everything is going to lead up to the more harder difficulty content. Again, especially when the Workshop of Brilliant Light gets the additional floors being like 75, 80, 85, 100, whatever, right? Those type of floors. I feel the Wind attribute will be catered to that. So starting from August and onwards. Let me break it down so that way we all know on what's going on. So July is going to be the fire attribute. So realistically, it's a difficult one to say, because we don't know what content they'll cater to, so that it's in Suhyun's favor to make that incentive to pull, alongside with Phoenix Soul Bow, but everyone's going to be zoning for that because you have tickets already. Done a whole video on that to save your tickets. But technically speaking, if those that want to skip to really focus and cater on August to September, I think this is where we're about to get the full experience of the Wind elevation. Now, one of the character being Amamiya, Amamiya, of course. I was really thinking, I thought, right, they're going to go all in for Wind. Because at first, and I still kind of believe this, is go 100%. This is going to be our 100% Wind DPS. Seeing this character, I am not seeing any other vibe other than him being a Wind. He's 100% a DPS character. The only other thing I can see them alternatively doing for this character is making him into a breaker. With power, but more for a breaker, of course. That's the only other alternative play I could see. To be fair, actually, they could consider him being a breaker, because what I was then thinking was, what if they make Amamiya, which, because of course if we're getting 2 characters in August, being the main DPS for support, because this character, swordsmanship, using the power of spirit, uses the power of Oni Kuroha to perform mysterious swordsmanship that will do anything to uphold her sense of justice. So this comes across as a character that is going to be on the offensive, right? So what if we're getting a wind DPS character being an OC, to then the festival character, right, being Go, who is going to be providing the breakage for the wind typing, and I'm hoping that they bring him in a unique way to say that he is ultimately providing almighty break. That's what I'm really hoping for, or at the very least heavy breaks. And then that then leads into, with me, because I've already done a talk about how Hansami is going to be a support character, but what if she's a wind support? So that then fully caters to DPS, wind. Then we've got our breaker. So we've got the DPS and the breaker for wind dropping in August, and then in September we've got the wind support. So that then kind of I mean, it kind of screws up the current wind characters that we have, but technically speaking, wind needs to be updated in my eyes. It's kind of the same vibe as how we've got a full team of dark, but technically speaking, I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't mind another dark breaker. That's just my personal opinion. I do like Beast, I do like Libora. I mean, we could do another dark breaker, that's all I'll say on that one. But that's kind of where my mindset is at right now. Now, the only reason why I mention back-to-back wind attributes for months is because they've done it with Alicia and Mei Lin, right? Because we had back-to-back water typing, so we now know that that's not out of the equation on if they want to continue furthermore support the same attributes. But this would be kind of chaotic, because within within a month you got 2 characters fully supporting a specific typing that really needs the help. Let's be honest. I mean, that's going to be a lot on our plate, and then obviously following the next month after, it's going to be the final piece of the puzzle to complete the wind team. So the developers aren't dumb; they know what they're doing, and I think it's clear as day, even as they know, that wind needs crazy amount of support. And so, again, ever since with them doing back-to-back water attribute, I think starting from the 100-day celebration, I think they're gonna fully commit and just put wind on the map, because wind typing right now is non-existent on the hunter perspective. Weapon perspective, we're doing decently well, especially with the SR weapon being the West Wind. But on top of that, you know, you've got the Demon Sword, etc. You know, wind weapons are kind of out there doing their thing, but in a hunter perspective, nowhere to be seen. Like, if you really put yourself in a situation where it's giving you the wind attribute advantage, are you really bringing any wind attribute characters? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not. If there's a fight out there, if there's a raid out there, if there's a boss out there, and it's just like, hey, you need to bring wind attribute characters. If it's Jinwoo, I'll give you weapons, but you ain't getting any hunters. Hunters, I'll resort to light types. Hunters, I'll resort to water types. Yes, I've got access to wind attribute, but right now they're not up to scratch. So with that being said, fire, after fire being in July, I reckon we're going fully supporting wind. That's my takeaway with all of this.